So, my goal here tonight is to build out a little track from scratch. I'm going to kind of talk through some of it, I think, maybe, possibly. Kind of sort of explain some of what I'm trying to do and my somewhat my process behind music and how I approach making things. And I actually have no real thought in mind of what I want to try to make, even really what genre of music it's going to be. It's all going to be synthesizer because I don't really want to get a guitar out and play guitar tonight. But we'll see. Can the people that are listening, can you guys actually hear me? Does everything sound okay? Yes or no? Simple question. I don't actually know who's watching. I see there's a couple people on here. Also, the last time I did this, I realized that for some reason or another, it only recorded the left channel of audio. So if you're listening through headphones, I don't know if it'll actually just be the left channel of audio. Hey, Donald, what's up, buddy? I don't know if what I'm recording right now is just the left channel of audio. LOL, yes, it's just the left channel of audio. Is that right, Donald? Good stuff. That has something to do with the way I'm routing all this stuff around. So, good opportunity to kind of quickly run through the setup that I've got here. Synthesizer up top. This is a sampler slash sequencer. It's called the Elektron Digitakt. So you hear just kind of some basic drum sounds across the top here. Synthesizer on the bottom, down here, over here where my hand is. This is the Elektron Digitone. It's suffices to say it's like a 4-voice polyphonic FM synthesizer, which frequency modulation. If you don't know what that is, you can Google it. But it's it's just kind of a wild digital synthesizer. But it makes a lot of really good pad sounds. Stabs. You can get some good leads and some good basses out of it as well. You can do a lot of things with this. I mean, it's a digital synthesizer, so it'll do a lot. Over on the right hand side, Moog Grandmother. This is a semi-modular analog synthesizer from Moog. For those of you North Carolinians who don't know, Moog is located up in Asheville, North Carolina. When I was looking to get my first analog synthesizer, I really wanted something that was local-ish, and Moog fits that bill. And for anybody that knows synthesizers knows that Moog is kind of a gold standard in analog synthesis, so went with the Moog Grandma. Semi-modular synthesizers are kind of weird. As you can see, maybe you can see, there's all these little, patch points, that's what we call them, where essentially I can patch in, I can reroute the synthesizer. It has a normal routing process, which is left side to right side, essentially. As you can see, if I play something and adjust the filter, it plays, and I don't have anything patched right now. But I can modify the way that it's patched by taking little cables and plugging them in all over the place. And so it can get pretty wild and crazy. The sort of downside to having a semi-modular synthesizer that doesn't have preset saving is that it's really hard to use in a live environment, but it's great to use at home, because it's really, really open-ended and I can do pretty much whatever I want to with it. Whereas, I guess you could kind of do that with like synthesizers with a digital brain that allow you to save presets, but in my opinion, they're slightly less fun to play, and I tend to just use presets, which is what you're going to see me do probably on these two digital synthesizers over here. So anyways, one last thing, the Digitakt up here at the top is sending a MIDI clock signal that is being sent from this to this to this, right? It's going through all three synthesizers. The purpose of that is to keep them all in sync. So it's sending both MIDI clock and I think it's called program change MIDI. I think that's what it's called. I might be wrong about that. Don't fact check me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Essentially, whenever I press start on one, or I guess I actually need to set it up, but if I go to MIDI config, sync, and then clock send, now what's going to happen, and I know you guys can't probably actually see this. Yeah, you definitely can't see this. When I essentially tell it to send MIDI clock sync, it's going to pass that MIDI clock sync to the next device in the MIDI chain. And that is going to keep all of my boxes in sync. From a clock standpoint, if I change the tempo on one, it will change the tempo on all of them. And that's what I want whenever I'm playing multiple synthesizers at one time. All right, so I guess we're gonna play some music. So my musical process normally, and this is probably just because I'm a guitar player at heart. I like to build out some sort of a melody, build out some sort of a structure that way before I put any sort of beats down. I'm also just not good at making beats, so there's that. So I'm going to start over here on my Digitone, the FM synthesizer, which is, like I said, what I normally do. It's also good to note that this has 4 tracks that I can pretty much put whatever I want to on it, just because I'm a sucker for like ambient style pretty music, I guess. I'm going to start with some sort of I don't know, it's probably some sort of pad or something. Does anybody, it looks like Liz is telling me there is like a 45-second delay. Does anybody have any thoughts on what they want to hear me try to make? That's not to say, hey, give me a cover and I'm going to cover that song, because I absolutely cannot do that. But do you have a specific genre of music that you would like to hear me make? Let me know in the comments, and maybe I can. I probably can't, but maybe I can. All right, I'm just going to clear the filter of different types of sounds, and I'm just going to start kind of like demoing some sounds. Oh, also off screen, kind of down underneath my desk, I have a guitar pedal board, and I'm running all of my synthesizers through my guitar pedal board right now. In the mixer I have off to the side as well, there's an effects send and return, and so everything is coming out of the effects send through my guitar pedal chain, which, you know, there's a lot of pedals on there, but for the synthesizers, normally I'm using, I have a Chase Bliss Audio Warp Vinyl HiFi, which is a chorus and vibrato pedal. So I guess, so chorus and vibrato, just so that you guys know how this sounds. Let me find like a really simple, so there's a really simple synthesizer sound, so we'll go with that. So that's normal, and there's that's a vibrato that I've set up, so you guys can kind of hear that like wavering around. I've also got a delay. Right now it's on like a pitch shifting type preset, so you can hear the kind of like funky, glitchy kind of pitch stuff happening. And then lastly, because I'm a sucker for it, lots and lots and lots of reverb. So this is the Eventide space. So yeah, so chorus, vibrato, delay, reverb, all classic synthesizer effects that I like to use. Okay, I'm gonna shut up and demo some presets real quick and see what we want to do. I really like that. So I loaded that into track 1. Since this is a polyphonic synthesizer with 4 voices, I can play up to 4 keys at a time. That's nice. I like that. Got a chord in my mind and I can't play it because I'm not classically trained and have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to music theory. So okay. I like that chord. Kind of kick something off. Greg, is this a 100 gex cover? It's not, but hey, I posted this on Facebook today. 100 gex. It slaps. It's sick. It's really weird, and I like it. Greg, you don't even know. All right. So right now, because everything always defaults to 120 beats per minute, it's defaulted to 120 beats per minute. I think that's going to be too fast for what I'm trying to do right now. It normally is, because I like to play slow ambient melodic stuff. So I'm going to change that. I don't really know what to. So I can tap in a tempo for this. It's also blinking a light if you can't see it. I think you can see that. It's blinking a light to kind of show me the tempo. I can also turn a metronome on, which I'm going to do here in a minute when I start recording. I'm just trying to, I've got this sort of like melody in my head. That seems about right. Okay. So that's 77 beats per minute. It's pretty slow. But that's okay. That works. Setup wise, and I promise this is not going to be this boring the whole time, just kind of trying to get things set up and try to get my bearing on where I'm at. By default, the sequencer, which is essentially it's the way that you record MIDI. This is set to 16 beats, a single measure of 16 beats. I'm going to change that to 4 measures. I'm actually probably talking about that wrong too. Who knows? Anybody that's listening that actually knows music theory wants to tell me that I'm a moron. That's okay. I understand. I am a moron when it comes to that stuff. And I'm going to change. I'm not going to mess with that right now. Most likely, I'll end up changing the Digitakt to 64 beats as well. Just so I can get like a longer drum pattern going, so it's not super boring. Yeah. So. Got to get that mood right. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know. All right. So then, when I start this live recording, quantized. Oops, started too early. effects off because it's pretty muddy already. I'm just trying to figure out exactly what I'm playing here, what this needs to sound like. So I also want it to be, I want the melody to stay somewhat rhythmic still so that I can put a beat to it. I actually don't like that sound now that put some sort of a bass in there, it'll really drive the rhythm of it more. So I'm searching through the sound bank here for track 3, specifically for bass presets. And so now I can just demo specifically the bass presets. So here's one called analog something. That's kind of cool. Here is to put a bass track in, but I really love that lead, so let's pause on bass for 2 seconds. sounds. Now I'm on track 4. how's all that? That sounds really cool. Sounds good. It's really pretty. One thing I'm going to do really quick, I'm going to turn all of the effects off of the drums. Okay. The Digitakt, which is going to be my drums, among other things, it's a sequencer / sampler, so I could sample anything into this, right? And I've got all sorts of crazy stuff that I've sampled into this before. Kids' toys, Adeline saying "da-da," birds chirping at 5 a.m. in our backyard, things like that. So I can put anything in here that I want to. Normally, for my setup, the Digitakt functions as a drum machine, so I'm going to use it for drums. And so if I'm going to use it for drums, the first thing I'm going to do is build my kit, as it were. I have 8 tracks across the top that are all tracks specifically for the Digitakt. So those are all audio files that it's going to play off of the box itself, off of the hard drive on the box. And then it's got an additional 8 MIDI tracks, which means that I can sequence MIDI stuff. So, for example, this thing is hooked up via MIDI to the grandmother next to it. If I wanted to, I could MIDI sync them in a way that when I pressed play on a specific sequence, call it sequence 9 down here, then it would play a MIDI sequence. It would send a series of MIDI notes to the grandmother, and it would act as if I'm over here playing the keys on the grandmother. But I'm not going to do that because I don't know. To be honest, I've never done it before, and I'm definitely not going to do it live for the first time. And I don't know. I don't really care to do that right now. It's not what I'm going for. So, I'll stop talking so much. Let's demo some drum sounds. These are the normal drum sounds that comes with the Digitakt. Well, these are the normal drum sounds that it loads up automatically for every new track you create. Really simple, bass, snare, tom, hand clap, cowbell. I couldn't remember the name of cowbell for a second. Closed hi-hat, somewhat open hi-hat, cymbal. Yeah, I don't like those sounds. They're very generic and plain and very blah. So, yeah, let's start. So we got, there's a bunch of different folders on here. There's a factory folder that's got probably thousands and thousands of different sounds in there. I mean, that's definitely a good place to start. I've got all sorts of other stuff in here too, and to be honest with you, I don't know really what any of it is. But I can just kind of yeah, that's birds in the backyard. I don't care about that. Don't want that. That was this random thing I downloaded off the internet. Flutes. I've got a very hip-hop sort of track built around that, but we're not going to get into that either. Some vocals that I did. I'm not going to go through those. That's embarrassing. Here's a random sound pack. So, see, I don't love these. This is all like synthesizer sounds, and I've already got kind of my atmosphere my melody going down there. So I'm just going to back out and go back to the factory samples. We're going to go to drums. And I'm going to go to electronic because I want to do something kind of funky, non-analog sounding. And I don't really even know. There's a lot of these. So I'm just going to choose one. I think I've liked this school one before. I don't love that for this. It's very kind of abrasive. This one's called Soft. Yeah. It's not bad. I don't love it. Let's see what else we got. Spring. I bet that's got like spring reverb on it. Trunk. And you can mix and match these. But that would be, it takes a long time to set up. This one's called Weird. Alright, I love that one. Let's do it. We're doing it. So I'm just going to go through and load up every single one of these. Alright. And load to project. Confirm 8 samples. Yes. 8 samples loaded to project. Boom. Alright. So now we have to kind of set these up. So there's the weird bass drum. Snare. Ooh. Yes. I don't even know if that's going to fit in this song, but we're doing it. So Tom. There's only like, I thought there were like 8 drums in this pack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. All right. Yes, we'll do that. Clap is going to be the other snare drum. Yes, fine. Why not? Alright, and I got 2 tracks left over. For now, let me get that clap back. That's a cool clap. Whatever. I'll tweak it. Yeah, fine, whatever. That's pretty loud. Alright. Function, making this 64 beats, and you know, we're just gonna start recording, see what happens here. slightly